Hello and welcome to this video. As 2017 is drawing to a close, I thought it would be interesting to look at some 2018 trends, which may seem a little weird, like how do I know what 2018 makeup trends would be now? But if you've noticed, like loads of, I don't want to say news outlets, it's not like BBC, loads of, what do you call them, like pop culture news outlets, I guess? I first saw it on Snapchat, have been like predicting, I guess, makeup trends from like the runways and what they've been seeing. So what I did was I took a couple of them, like I looked at a few different sites and I found the ones that seemed to pop up a lot and I decided to try them out. Now that being said, I also looked at 2017 trends to see if like, well, they happened, see if there were trends in 2017, and a lot of the trends that were predicted last year didn't actually happen, so this could be a lie. But I kind of hope it's not, because I kind of like it. But anyway, I guess we'll have to wait until next year to look back at this and see if this is something that popped up. But anyway, yes, this video is some 2018 makeup trends, and if you'd like to see them, then please keep watching. Okay, so starting with the base, one of the trends that I kept seeing popping up was like glowy, no makeup scene. So I know a big trend this year has been like full coverage makeup, sort of like flat matte and then just what am I doing? Like a highlight on the cheeks, bridge on the nose, you know, that sort of thing, like the high points. But apparently in 2018 it's going to turn more to natural makeup and very glowy makeup. Okay, so what I did for my skin was I used a Luminous foundation, I used the Armani Luminous Silk, and then to make it even glowier I used some of the Cover FX drops. This might seem like overkill, a glowy foundation and glowy drops, but the idea with this is that when you have a dewy foundation and then you set it with powder, it will be matte. But if you add the Cover FX drops, because these are like a sort of a shimmer, when you add powder on top it won't mattify it. So mixing these two is just a luminous dream. Okay, next up, which obviously wasn't a trend, I added concealer and then I baked my under eyes. I know technically baking is a lot of powder and that's not very natural, but if I don't bake my under eyes they always crease up and go nasty, so I'm going to do that. Okay, so the next trend that I did was eyebrows. The trend for this year seems to be like really bold brows, like thick, sort of filled in, like what do they call it on Instagram? It's like called on fleek, whatever. Like I hear a lot of people saying could cut a bitch. That's rude, but yes, like really precise harsh brows. But supposedly in 2018 that's all going to take a change for feathery brows, very like naturally filled in feathery brows. So what I did for brows was I used a brow powder, well actually I used a brown eyeshadow from the Kat Von D palette, and I just turned my brush on its side and did some upward strokes so that it looked more like hairs, like hair-like strokes, but with a powder, because I find that powder looks more natural, whereas when I use like the Benefit Dip Brow it can look quite harsh. So yes, powder. And I tried to stay like within my eyebrows so that they don't look too drawn on, but in some bits like where it's sparse I did go outside, but just had a really light hand so it looks quite natural. And then to get that feathery effect I used the Benefit Gimme Brow, which is I can't, somewhere around here, it's a big mess you don't want to see. The Benefit Gimme Brow, because I find that that gives me really nice defined hairs so they look more fluffy. I know that the Gimme Brow is really hard to get hold of at the moment though, so if you want an alternative there's a Stroke of Beauty fibre brow gel, also Glossier has one, and I think Loreal Brow Plumper, that's also a good one. Just any like eyebrow gel that has little fibres in it, because it's going to plump up your brows and it's also going to make them feathery fluffy, you know. Okay, so next, because of course glowy is the trend, I wanted to make myself even glowier. So before I powdered I went in with the Cover FX Custom Enhancer drops and I just put some on my cheekbones. I would say though you want to work really fast with these because they dry really fast. When I first put it on I tried to use my finger on this cheek, as you'll see, and it sort of like dried in a straight line. So then I had to take my beauty blender and rub it out, and then on this cheek I just dipped it in and then that works a lot better. I would recommend that. Okay, so the next trend is a complexion one as well, I guess. Oh, so firstly I set my whole face because I always do that. I find that powders go on a lot nicer when you have well, powders go on nicer on top of powder. So I was going to use a powder brush, so of course I powdered my face first, but of course because of the Cover FX drops I still maintained the luminosity. So the next trend was like sun-kissed but rosy cheeks. So what I did first was I took my bronzer and instead of putting it like sort of in the contour area where I usually would. I swept it across my cheeks like I would a blush, and it also brought it in a lot further, almost up until my nose, and then I brushed some on my nose, and also I put some on the high points of my face, so like the temples and stuff, and also my big old chin. And then on top of that I went in with a blush. I used, let me just say look, I used some of Angelic from Tarte, and I just put that on top on all the areas, so everywhere that I bronzed, on my cheeks, on my nose, chin, high points of my face, just to give it a nice rosy glow. And then onto the eyes. So supposedly rosy smoky eyes are going to be very in trend this year, like peachy, pinky, purpley shades. So I went for sort of a reddish peachy sort of look, and smoky eyes and smoky under eyes, so you want to put it everywhere. Okay, so for this I started off with the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I took the light orange shade and I just fluffed that into my crease. You want to put it all over, so on the outer crease and the inner crease. Next up I used the Huda Beauty palette, and I went into the shade Amber, and I just put that all over my lid, and then I buffed that up into the crease, and then I thought it looked a bit too red, so what I did next was I went in with the light pink shade from this Natasha Denona palette, which is of course really expensive, and by no means do you need to use all of these palettes. You could just go on top of it with a pink blush, it would work exactly the same. And yeah, I blended that on top to make it a bit more rosy, and then I took some of that into the crease and used it to blend it all together. And also I took a bit of the amber and also buffed that into the crease. Then for the lower lash line, again I used the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I put the orange shade and really buffed that out. And then I went in with some of the amber from the Huda Beauty and just added that. So I just basically repeated the top on the bottom, so it was all smoky. Okay, so the next trend that I read about was graphic eyeliner. The specific one that I went for was, they said 3 dots was going to be like a trend, just 3 dots at the side, and I did that, as you will see, and it just looked really weird. At first I was just going to go with it, but when I put the mascara on, it just looked like, you know when you put mascara on it goes all over your lids, it just looked like that. So I thought I'm going to do something else, so I added a few dots and I bring it up to like my eyebrow, and I kind of like the way it looks. It looks a bit strange, and also I replicated on the other eye. I like symmetry. I think most people like symmetry, so yeah, I just replicated it, so I'm a bit more symmetrical. It's sort of like cheetah print, I feel, and yeah, I really like the way it turned out. It started off as a disaster, but I guess good things come from weird places. Okay, so eyelashes. Eyelashes was another trend that I read about. So supposedly this year, really curly eyelashes are going to be in, and curly and natural. So I know this year we've seen a lot of like false eyelashes, long eyelashes, fluffy eyelashes, and I've really been into that trend, especially lately. I've been wearing a lot of false eyelashes. I think it looks really nice. So this was definitely weird for me, but supposedly really curly eyelashes with minimal mascara, it's going to be a hit. It's going to be a hit. So what I did was I curled my eyelashes many times, as you'll see, curled them over and over. What you want to do when you're curling is you want to put all your eyelashes in, of course, then clamp down, then move a bit out, clamp down, move a bit out, clamp down, so that you get the full curl and not just like a crimp. Of course, we all know to hold a curl you need waterproof mascara, so what I did was I first went in Maybelline The Rocket Waterproof and did 1 coat of that, and then on top of that I went in with my L'Oreal Lash Paradise, which is the best mascara. It makes your eyelashes so fluffy and so long, so I would definitely recommend this one for this look, for like the fluff, the floof. The floof is big this year, floofy eyelashes, floofy brows. This mascara will give you that. And then last but not least, the last trend that was replicated across everything that I looked at, like all the outlets, was the glossy lip. Now I did actually try to do 3-in-1. I know the lollipop lip, like the lip where it looks like you've been sucking on a lollipop, where it's like red inside and it fades to nude. It's a big trend in Korea right now. Apparently that's going to be a big trend in the Western world in 2018, but really glossy and with some glitter. So that sounds pretty cool. That's what I tried to go for, but the lollipopness didn't work out for me. So I just ended up with a really glossy lip with glitter, and I think it looks quite nice. Okay, so that's it for this video. That's all the 2018 makeup trends that I could find repeated across like many outlets, so the ones that I thought would be most likely. Do you like the look? Do you like the way it turned out? Or do you just like any of the individual trends? Would you try any of these yourself? Do you hope any of them actually turn into a thing? Because I kind of do. I'm not gonna lie, I love them all. I really like this look. I'd say most of all I kind of like the eyeliner, which is surprising because I hated it at first, but now it's just, I can't stop looking at it. It's so interesting. I also really like the lips, I like the brows, I like the glowy skin. Basically, I like everything. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and have a good rest of 2017. Hope you have an amazing 2018, and that is all. Happy New Year-ish, kind of, sort of. Bye. Okay, so starting with the base, one of the trends that I kept seeing popping up was like, I'm out of breath. Give me a second. I need to get to the